If you've got drafty rooms, high energy bills, or old windows, this story is going to flip how you think your home works. I was ready to drop thousands on windows until this guy showed up with a fan and changed everything. For the past few years, I had this nagging feeling that something just wasn't right with our house. The baby's room stayed cold no matter how high we turned up the heat. Each summer, the upper floor is miserable and the AC runs all day long. And the electric bill? It hit over $1,100 this past winter. We were losing money and still not comfortable. My gut said it had to be the windows. They're original, old wood frames, a little rattle when the wind picks up, the kind that feel like they should be the problem. Like most homeowners, I figured that's where all the heat was going. My boss at work had already been down that road. He called out one of those big window companies, the kind with the polished ads and the promise of savings. They quoted him $6,900 for just a few windows, like they were selling gold-plated glass. Then they called him back later trying to lower the price. He said, "If that was your real price, why are you dropping it now?" That stuck with me. It didn't feel like help, it felt like a hustle. So instead of shelling out for replacements, I tried something different. I found out about home energy audits. One of my coworkers had a guy out from Home Trust Remodeling. Eric Gans is a contractor in the local utility rebate program. He is certified and has been to thousands of houses around Maryland. Said he used to be a window contractor, spent nearly a decade selling and installing them. That caught my attention. I figured if anyone could give me an honest answer about whether windows were worth it, it would be someone who used to make a living off them. Eric showed up with zero pressure, a calm presence, and a truck full of tools. That's when things started to get interesting. He set up something called a blower door test, a huge fan that fits into your front door and pulls air out of the house to measure how much leaks back in. Immediately, I was thinking, why doesn't every replacement window company offer to test how leaky the windows are first? Within minutes of turning it on, the results were staring me in the face. Cold air was pouring in from places I never would have guessed. The base of the stairs around the recessed lights, through the attic hatch. But then came the moment that made my jaw drop. We went downstairs to the crawlspace. Eric took a video to show me. The outside joists had been cut out for the heating and cooling duct to run up the exterior wall. Eric pointed out that what I was seeing is the back of the siding. It finally dawned on me why the family room above the crawlspace was always the least traveled place in the winter. Next, he started to fill me in on the attic details. I hadn't been up there in years. I realized that I had been avoiding and ignoring that area for too long. The insulation was uneven and insufficient, just 6 to 7 inches of loose-fill fiberglass. Eric explained that the type I had was giving me an R value of just around 18, far from Maryland's recommended level of R49. But what really stuck with me was something he called wind washing. Air was sneaking in through the eaves and blowing the insulation off the top of the ceiling, right above the baby's room. That's why no matter what we did with the thermostat, that room never held heat. Eric explained things as we walked around my house that really made sense to me. Warm air escapes through the attic, and that creates suction that pulls cold air in from below, through holes, cracks, vents, and crawl spaces. He showed me places I had never thought to look. I learned that my crawl space had a vapor barrier, but it wasn't sealed all the way. Taking the time to actually consider how my crawl space is insulated made me realize some of the flaws. Like I always noticed plastic on the floor. I was told by the home inspector that it was a vapor barrier. What I learned during my energy audit is a vapor barrier's job is to keep ground moisture from rising up into the house. If it isn't sealed all the way, it can't do the job it was intended to do. And he made it sound like sealing it was really easy. I learned that 2 upstairs bath fans weren't even venting to the outside, and they just pointed at a gable vent like the electrician gave up halfway through the job. It made total sense that it is important for humid air from the shower to be sent all the way out of the building. That helps with summer humidity and also with keeping things dry in the attic. And then, like a bonus round, he discovered a loose duct connection in the attic that I didn't even know that I had. I had not even noticed that the hallway bathroom supply duct was in the ceiling, which meant the duct supply line was running through the attic. Who knows how long we'd been heating the attic instead of the room? The energy audit certainly brought a few things to the forefront. And now the part that really flipped my thinking. I asked him about the windows. That's when he told me about another house he tested. Similar setup. First, they did the shell work, air sealing and insulation. The result? A 51% reduction in air leakage. Then they installed 22 brand new windows. And you know what that improved? 6%. Not a guess. Not an estimate. That was from a blower door test. Coming from a former window contractor, that hit me differently. He wasn't bashing windows, he just knew where the real gains were, and he had the numbers to prove it. I used to think our house just wasn't built well, that maybe we needed a better HVAC system or to finally go all in on replacement windows. But after this process, I realized something more powerful. My house wasn't broken, it just had holes. Holes I couldn't see. Holes I would have never found without an audit. I used to think a cold house was just something you lived with, but that was before I understood how homes really work. A little bit of building science changed the way I see everything. It's not just about insulation or ductwork, it's about how air moves, how heat escapes, and how your home responds. When you understand that, you stop throwing money at the symptoms and start solving the problem. Any home can be made more comfortable, older or newer. You just have to know where to look.
If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. I've got over 600 videos with just tons of information, raw footage of being in the attic, around houses, things that are going wrong in houses that could be going wrong in yours as well, how to fix all these problems, and just a good overall understanding of what home performance is.